So where did we get to yesterday? Hiccup has enticed Toothless to go and catch mackerel, and he's going to be rewarded with... What's he going to be rewarded with? He spread out his wings like a kite and flew fairly swiftly over the surface of the choppy waves, keeping his body and wings steady as he searched for the movement of fish. He spotted something and soared upwards in circles until he was so high that Hiccup, craning his neck backwards on the beach, could only just see him as a tiny speck. The speck was motionless for a second, and then Toothless dived, his wings folded by his sides, dropping like a stone out of the sky. He disappeared into the water and was gone for quite a while. Dragons can stay underwater for at least 5 minutes if they want to, and Toothless got quite distracted under there, chasing one fish and then another, unable to decide which was the biggest. Hiccup had got bored and was looking for oysters when Toothless came bursting triumphantly out of the sea carrying a small mackerel. He dropped the mackerel at Hiccup's feet, did 3 somersaults in a row and landed on Hiccup's head. He let out the dragon's cry of triumph, which is a bit like a rooster crowing, but a lot louder and more self-satisfied. Then he leant over and stared into Hiccup's eyes, upside down. "Now, to tell me a joke," said Toothless. "Whimpering woodens," said Hiccup. "He did it! He really did it! To tell me a joke," said Toothless again. "What's black and white and red all over?" asked Hiccup. Toothless didn't know. "A sunburned penguin," replied Hiccup. It was a very, very old joke, but apparently it hadn't made it to Wild Dragon Cliff. Toothless thought it was hysterically funny. He flew off to catch more fish so he could hear more jokes. It was an enjoyable afternoon. The rain stopped, the sun shone, and Toothless didn't do too badly at all with the hunting. He dropped a few fish and at one point wandered off entirely to chase rabbits on the cliff tops. But he came back when Hiccup called eventually, and by the end of a couple of hours he had caught 6 medium-sized mackerel and a dogfish. All in all, Hiccup was pretty satisfied. "After all," he said to Fishlegs, "it's not like I'm expecting to win the prize for most promising dragon or anything. All I need is to show that Toothless is basically under my control, and for him to catch a few fish. We'll make fools of ourselves compared to Snotlout and his beastly hunting legend, but at least we'll have passed initiation." What was more, as Toothless dropped the last mackerel on the heap in front of Hiccup, Fishlegs noticed something sharp and gleaming in the dragon's lower jaw. "Toothless has got his first tooth," said Fishlegs. It seemed a very good omen. As they staggered home, they passed Old Wrinkly, who had been sitting on a rock watching them for the past couple of hours. "Very impressive," wheezed Old Wrinkly as the boy showed him the fish wrapped up in Hiccup's cloak. "We reckon Hiccup really might pass the final initiation test on Thursday, said Fishlegs excitedly. "So you're still worrying about that piddly little test, are you, Hiccup?" asked Old Wrinkly. "There are larger concerns, you know. There's a ginormous storm brewing up, for instance. It should hit us in about 3 days. "Piddly little test," said Fishlegs indignantly. "What do you mean, piddly little test? The Thursday Festival is the biggest event of the year. Everybody who is anybody will be there. All the hairy hooligans and the meatheads. Plus, this may not seem important to you, but anybody who fails this piddly little test gets put into exile to get eaten up by cannibals or something equally gruesome. I'm going to call myself Hiccup the Useful and his dragon Toothful," said Hiccup, beaming. "I thought of it just now and I'm really pleased with it. It's solid, dependable, not too flash and not too much to live up to." And I'm going to stop there and say goodbye for now.